In today's video, I'm gonna change out a little bit of the decor here in the corner for summer. Here we go. Okay, so here's what the corner currently looks like. I had the Ninja here. This is our little smoothie corner, but the kids haven't been making as many smoothies. I like to keep the decor and the stuff that we keep on the counters pretty flexible as people's like cravings and things wax and wane. So they haven't really been making smoothies as much, so I'm gonna get rid of the Ninja. I'm gonna put it away in a closet and take that little tray off because it's just not serving us as well. I got this. So I picked this up at a thrift store. If you watch my other channel, you might have seen it there. It was silver when I got it. I'll insert a little footage here to show you what I did to fix it up. Okay, this is one of the easiest flips I'm gonna do today. This I got at Goodwill for $6.99, which is a little high, but I really love it. I love tiered trays. I love buying different ones when I find them at the thrift stores. It looks like it started its life black. Someone painted it silver. I'm bringing it back to black. I'm gonna use a flat black paint. It's actually a chalkboard paint because I can't find my flat black paint, but it's gonna work just as well. I've used it before on other things that I wanted flat black for before I actually had flat black. I really need to organize my spray paints, but that's another video. So let's go ahead and paint this. This is after one coat. I'll go back and do a second coat once it's dry. It won't be a total second coat, it'll just be like touch-ups. All right, I did a second coat. It looks great. I'm really happy with this rack. I don't want to touch it to show you yet, but I will in a little bit. I really like it. Well worth $7. So yeah, this is just a little flat black paint. It's actually chalkboard paint. So I guess I could write on it with chalk if I so desire. And I thought it would be really nice up against the light wall that we have. We are gonna paint soon, but it is still gonna remain light. I thought it would look pretty in the corner and just a little bit more functional than what's currently here. So I'm gonna move the camera and we'll go ahead and decorate the tiered tray.
Of course, the first step of any redecorating project, big or small, is to clean up the space. So I took out the pieces that I knew I didn't want to use, left behind a few that I figured I wanted to put on my tiered tray, and then I did go ahead and clean up the space. Then I went ahead and played around with my tray to see how I wanted to place it on the counter. Now I did want to move my toaster, the reason being that I had the toaster kind of flat up against the wall, and invariably every single day it winds up turned on an angle because people need to turn it to be able to toast. So I was like, why am I fighting this? I just need to put the lever for the toaster out so people don't have to move the toaster to use it. And so that's what I wanted to do. I always like my spaces to be very functional, and I don't want the decor to get in the way of the functionality of the space. I was struggling a little to get the cord to cooperate, but I do think I finally got it to cooperate. It looks a little ugly behind the tray, but once all the decor gets onto it, you won't see that cord there at all. And now people don't need to mess with the cord or the toaster to toast their bread every morning. Then I knew I wanted to put something on the wall to cover a little bit of the ugliness of the wall. Again, we are going to actually be tiling a backsplash and painting soon, but until then, just kind of hide the ugly. So I use that Home Sweet Home sign from the Dollar Tree. This is a little DIY jar that I did. I decoupaged a napkin from the Dollar Tree. I love this jar. It holds these fun straws that the kids like to use. I did want to make sure that they would be able to access the straws, which they can. And I was showing you there, I wanted the word ball to be facing out because I just like the look of that. I knew I wanted to have our sugar jar here, but I wasn't quite sure where. I tried it on the top, and it is accessible on both the top and the bottom tiers. Again, because I'm working underneath cabinets, so I just have to make sure that everything is accessible that needs to be accessible. But then I decided I wanted to use this cool postcard art that I got. Someone sent it to me. The company name is postcardpantry.co. So I put that on the back of the bottom shelf. I had this little vintage strawberry recipe tin that I knew I wanted to use. So I'm just moving things around to see where I like them to go. And I like to bring you along for this process because decorating a tiered tray is not the easiest thing. I'm not great at it, and I do watch a lot of videos. If you're looking for someone who really knows how to decorate a tiered tray, check out Kenya's Decor Corner. I will try to remember to link her in my description box, but she's actually someone I watch all of her tiered tray decorating videos because she explains what she does and she just has really good ideas. So she always talks about not having to like see whole pieces of decor. Basically like bigger things like that flag postcard piece, you can kind of put behind things just to give a nice backdrop. Sometimes she'll use plates or signs or whatever, and even if you can't completely read them or see them, it's just a nice backdrop for your tiered tray. So that's what I was kind of going for with that piece of postcard art. And once I had placed some vintage kitchen utensils, you know, I love me some vintage, I did decide to go ahead and put the sugar on the top shelf. And then I knew I wanted some greenery, so I decided to use this crock. This crock I got at, I think, a Goodwill, and it has this bird on it, which is great for fall, but not great for most of the rest of the year. But you just turn things around and no one can ever see it. So I decided to put that on the bottom. I like the bit of country farmhouse that a crock adds to a decor space. But then it blocked the flag picture a lot, like more than I wanted it to. So I did go ahead and move the flag to the top, and I really liked the way that that looked. And then I was just kind of fiddling with it to get it to look the way that I wanted it to. And then I was just kind of moving things around to find a way that everything would fit and not look too cluttered. And then I wanted to put my plant in here. I decided to go with faux greenery. Sometimes I use real, sometimes I use faux. This time I decided to use faux. I have this little pumpkin with greenery in it from the Target Dollar Spot last fall. It's a little short, so I just put a balled up piece of paper into my crock and then placed the plant on top, and I liked the height. I needed it to be short anyway because of where it was going, but I like to always use a little bit of greenery on a tiered tray. It just, I don't know, it's just a personal preference. So I put that on there, and I was really enjoying how everything was looking, but I decided I really needed something in the back. You know, I still had that cord to deal with, so I got these cutie little vintage strawberry tin trays, and so I decided to put those there. These are food safe, and so I can pull them out and put little snacks on them if I want to. I use a lot of my vintage things for serving as long as I know that they're safe. So I like the way that they look, and they're also functional and usable. I am also a big fan and a collector of vintage cookie cutters and biscuit cutters, so I really wanted to put one on my tiered tray. I always try to include at least one, and I wanted to put this one in the center, but again, I'm working with function here. I need it to be functional. And so I knew that anytime someone pulled out that sugar jar, it was just going to knock the biscuit cutter. So I was kind of fighting with it for a little bit until I figured out that if I just switched the position of the little straw container holder and the biscuit cutter, then I could have both there and still be able to use all the items and not have things always constantly moving and getting knocked. So that's what I decided to do. Function wins in my kitchen. And then I wanted to add one more thing. I have these strawberry pot holders that a subscriber sent to me. I love them. I use them all the time. I could hang them on the wall, but I use them so often that I decided I just wanted to tuck them on the tray. They would be a nice pop of red and another functional object that I could keep out kind of as decor, but also as a functional object. And last but not least, again, knowing my family, I need to have a salt and pepper shaker here in this corner because they prepare a lot of food here, and otherwise they're constantly moving ones from other parts of the kitchen. So I put my little lantern salt and pepper shaker back, and then I was satisfied with how it looked. Here is the finished product, a little bit of function and decor in a very highly used space. I'm super pleased with this tiered tray that I found, and I encourage you to look in thrift stores if you're looking for decorative objects, because you can get them for a lot less and make them into what you want them to be. So until my next video, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope this has been a motivational Monday. Take care.